No, you know what? Say so. We don't.
Darlene, is that light coming in from up or up high, or if we close, yeah, if we close that blind, I don't know if it'll make a difference or not. Oh, yeah,
I don't see
the string, yeah. Huh.
You know what? It's stuck now. Uh-oh.
All right. Oh, there we go.
Can we get a tone?
Oh, we need one. They're on a whole lot of talking for you. How are you?
Better.
Oh, good.
That I taught you about 3 classes. And I was just telling my new friends over there that my mind was pretending I was 42. So I overstretched everything and then ended up late
Having
for days and days and days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm better, so I'm gonna add my age today.
We have to allow it's crazy how
It'll come back
how our
naturally.
ego plays
Even
in.
when you're all by your lonesome on a long night.
I know, it's powerful.
It really
It's
is.
powerful, and that's one of the beauties of meditation is to us
That's why I'm here today.
to
listen.
become a friend.
Or to just re-listen to
listen.
myself.
Yeah.
Or sometimes not listen.
Well, that's why it's a practice.
Unfortunately, it's better than what I'm going through now, so. So I have to do the other things. Now, it's, the joint is disintegrated from arthritis. So they go in and they take every single thing out, and they take my own tendons and make all the new parts. Yeah. That's why it's a dog, hand doctor, like Dr. Gates, it's his favorite surgery. So I'm like, so glad that your doctor has your favorite surgery. On St. Patrick's Day. Good news.
So everybody grab pretty good. How are you?
Thank you.
Hi. So glad you're here. Oh, you're going against the rules.
Yeah, am I going against the rules?
You see the sign up on
Am I
the
a
door?
bad person now?
You see the sign up on the door? Bring your own mat. Not that I'm a contractor. What do I care?
Get it?
I'm just saying, I know that I don't care. I do, just for the record, but I know that there was like there was a notice that came out that says that you have to bring your own mat.
Okay, I just forgot it and I didn't want to go home, so I just cleaned the heck out of this.
Awesome.
Sorry, guys. Now I know.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
There's
I'm
not.
sure there are. Are there any in this room? Okay, thank you, guys. We appreciate that. I'm really a good person, I don't steal. I'm sure there are.
So let's make sure we all have 2 blocks and let's put them at the top of your mat. Just position them just like this.
Yeah, it's nice and cool. She's going to give me blood.
Yeah, yeah.
See that?
How are you today? I think this is our last dip in temperatures. Our last
Better enjoy it.
cooler. Yes, enjoy it.
See, I love it. I go to golf like this and everybody else is wearing it.
Yeah. I'm with you. Like this is a lot of layer for me. It'll come off in a minute. I know my internal can all enlighten me on that. But man,
This, I I wore this one because I stole Yes, I know. I'm glad I have it on today.
There's a couple of. There you go. Oh, you brought lots. Oh, good. I got you. Wonderful.
Is
Somebody will record
somebody,
you.
and they'll know because of my shirt.
No, you're staged out of the.
Thank you, darling.
She had taken.
So how is everybody today? Good? Good. All right. 28, wow, you have 2 more minutes. All right. So what are we in the mood for today?
Whatever you say.
So much pressure. All right. Well, we're all, yes.
How about some twists?
Ooh,
How
twists are
about a
good.
twist?
Good request. Yes. And then I've got, yeah, I think, well, with some of my other, I teach at Love Yoga as well as here. It's a studio over on 41, just south of Pine Ridge Road. So I'm there Tuesday nights for a restorative yoga class at 7. And restorative yoga, we have all the props at that studio, so bolsters and blankets and blocks, and we're able to then move into poses using all that support. So then the stretches become more passive than real active. And it really becomes like meditation because we're in those poses for up to 10 minutes. Right. So then that process that we do of focusing on the breath while in a meditative seat, when you're in a pose, holding it for up to 10 minutes, to turn inward and make the focus about the breath and being able to be still. They say restorative yoga is one of the hardest types of yoga to do. So I teach that on Tuesday nights, and then Wednesday mornings are my gentle class, similar to this one. Friday mornings, my basics class. And I always try and find some kind of theme, and the breath just kept coming to me this week, and how important it is to tune in to the body being breathed versus you mindfully breathing, and how you can fill yourself up with so much gratitude just by recognizing that we have air to breathe. I know it sounds so simple, but seriously, like just to close your eyes for a minute and it's like, oh my God, like I am doing this without trying. And to think then how many people maybe aren't in that same position. So, we have Grandma joining us. That's so sweet. Hi, who's Grandma? Let's see. Thank you for joining us, whoever you are. So let's ground and close our eyes. Take a deep inhale through the nose, sigh it out through the mouth. So part of my training came from the founder of Jivamukti Yoga. Her name's Sharon Gannon. And she says, the practice of meditation, just as you cannot do yoga, you cannot, quote unquote, do meditation. She says yoga is the natural state of union with the divine source, however you define that. So whether that is just a supreme power or if you call it God. But what you can do are practices that reveal to us our resistance to a natural state of happiness, natural state of bliss. So the practice of meditation, just like the practice of yoga, is the practice of letting go of tendencies to a higher state of consciousness. So letting go to feeling that connection with the divine. So our experience with meditation is graceful. Not being obtained by effort. Grace arises only after the mind has been purified through much effort. So the first part, very important part of being able to meditate is finding your seat. Committing to that seat. Imagining your spine is like an antenna. You want the spine to be as long as possible. And as we draw our attention to one focal point, we let the tendencies, the other tendencies of needing to move, dissipate. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Let's set an intention for this practice this morning. Let this intention guide you through your practice this morning. So whatever it is that you're maybe working on. So we just came out of one kind of seasonal shift the last 6 months. So maybe there's something new that you're inviting in to your life. Perhaps a new goal or mental state. And then dedicate your practice. So I've also been focusing a lot on self-care, self-love, sort of this thought process of the more that we take care of ourselves and we're able to show up more for others. So maybe an affirmation of self-love. And not thinking of it being selfish. Loving yourself in an authentic, whole way. So it's okay to dedicate your practice to yourself. And by doing that, it extends out to others. Let's open with the sound of Om. So take a full inhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Just empty the whole breath out. Inhale. And and start to flicker the eyes open, little bit at a time. Just allowing yourself to come back into this space. And then let's make our way into child's pose. So separate your knees as wide as your mat and bring your toes together. So, and have your hands underneath your shoulders for a moment. So start here kind of in a frog-like pose. And now push your seat to your heels. Sitting back. Reach your hands out toward the front of your mat and then bow forward toward the earth. And let the elbows go soft so the shoulders can soften. And begin to notice the breath in your belly. Notice if your belly feels tight or rigid or hard. Notice if there's other parts of your body that are letting you know, hey, I need a little attention today. And just honor those parts of your body. Allowing the breath to rise and fall. Match your inhales with your exhales. And then on your next inhale, lift up halfway and walk your fingertips over to the right. Come up on your fingertips, arms lifted, wrists lifted, and then see if you can let the head drop between the arms, the belly maybe reaching the right thigh, and then walk your left fingertips out a little bit further and either stay on your fingertips or drop the palms to the floor and breathe into this whole left side. Expanding the rib cage. Getting the breath into those muscles in between our ribs. So when we expand these muscles, we're helping our lung capacity to expand. Inhale to lift up halfway so you can walk back through center and over to the left side now. Again, choosing to keep the fingertips tented or drop the palms to the floor, and now reaching a little further with the right hand, the right fingers to now breathe into this right side of the body. And notice where you might be clenching or grasping. And see if you can soften. Maybe it's in the brow, the forehead, maybe it's in the shoulders and neck. And focus only on expanding these muscles in the rib cage on the right side. And then inhale, lifting up, coming back to center, and then coming up to tabletop. Bring the knees underneath the hips. And have your shoulders, elbows, and wrists in line. Spread your fingers. Draw the belly in to find a neutral spine, and then begin to lift the crown of the head, tilt your tailbone up, moving into cow pose. And exhale, rounding the spine. Tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin in your chest, cat pose. Inhale into cow. And exhale into cat. So massaging out the spine. One more time. Inhale into cow, broadening across the collarbone. And then on your exhale, feel the upper back expanding. And then come back to neutral, extend the right leg behind you, lift that right leg so it's hip height, leveling your hips, leveling your sacrum, float that left arm by the ear, gaze looking down. Soften that left shoulder, reach through the left fingertips. Push through the right heel, spinal balance here. One more full inhale. And then exhale back to tabletop and push back, seat to heels. Keep your arms active. And inhale to lift back up. Extend left leg behind you, lift it up hip height. Keep that belly engaged as the right arm floats up by the ear. So your palm is turned in to help, facing in to help the right shoulder externally rotate. Keep the left foot flexed, toes pointing down to the mat to keep the hips level. One more full breath in, and then exhale, come back to tabletop, push back to child's pose. This time, reach for your blocks, bring your blocks to the lowest height and let your hands rest on the blocks, let the head drop between the arms. And if you have any tightness in the shoulders, I hope this feels as good for you as it does for me. Another full breath in and out. And then inhale, lifting back up to tabletop with your hands on the blocks, and then turn your blocks to the middle height. Extend the right leg behind you and then draw the right knee into your chest and step that right foot between the blocks. Lift the chest, fingertips coming up onto the blocks, and maybe deepen the bend in this right knee. So you're getting a good deep stretch for that front left quad muscle. Also our psoas muscle, which is the big muscle that surrounds our pelvic. Also a good stretch for our hip flexors here. Another deep inhale and exhale. And then inhale, shift the hips back so you're stacking shoulders in line with your hips, and your blocks are now coming to the top, the highest height, and under your shoulders. Find some balance here. Draw the hips towards your midline. Press into the top of your left foot. So that back foot, press the top of your foot into the mat a little bit, and press the right foot into the mat. Maybe you feel a little pressure come off the left knee, and now float the arms up by the ears on Janiasana. Gaze can maybe look up in between the pinkies. Full breath in, feeling that spine extend like an antenna. And then exhale the hands back down to the blocks and flip your right toes up, coming up on your right heel. Flex that foot. So this might be where you stay in this upright position. Try and keep your left hip and left knee in line. To deepen this pose, lead with the heart, hinge forward, bringing the heart toward that right knee. Full breath in if you find that your breath is getting compromised. Come up out of the stretch. Inhale, lift back up. Rock forward onto that right foot. Bring your blocks forward. Tuck your left toes under and lift that left knee, finding a low lunge. Really stretch through that left leg. Full extension in the left leg, right knee, right ankle in line. One more full inhale. Feel the chest open and exhale. exhale. Drop that left knee again, and then we'll bring this, left knee, and then we'll bring the right knee back to meet it. And then, oh, I forgot. Extend the left leg behind, lifting it up, and then draw the left knee into the chest. Step the left foot forward. Lift the chest, fingertips on the block, deepen that stretch in the left knee, right quad muscle now, getting a good deep stretch, hip flexors at play here. Chest lifted and expanding. And then shift the hips back, bring the blocks under your shoulders. Press into the top of the right foot now. Press into the left sole of your foot. Draw hips to midline, and then maybe the arms float up. Anjaneyasana, soften shoulders, but lengthening the arms up. Maybe turn the pinkies toward each other to help soften the shoulders. And the arms float back down to the blocks. Flip the left toes up so you're resting on that left heel. Make sure right hip and right ankle are in line. And then begin to maybe deepen this with each inhale and exhale. Deep stretch for our hamstring muscle. Full breath in, full breath out. Full breath in, full breath out. And inhale to lift up, rocking forward on that left foot. Bring your blocks forward to frame that left foot, and then tuck the right toes under. Lift that right leg. We're in low lunge. Full extension in that right leg, and really focus on your chest here so that you're not rounding in this, but opening, shining the heart forward. Breathe in and breathe out. And then drop that right knee down. Take the left knee back to meet it. One more child's pose with the hands staying on the blocks at this middle height, head dropping, so it might deepen that shoulder stretch a little bit more than when we had the blocks at the lowest height. And then bring the hands back. Rock off onto your left hip and swing your legs around. So let's get into some of those twists. So extending the legs in front of you, move the flesh away from your sits bones. Feet are flexed. Draw your right knee into your chest. Step it over the left leg. Really focus on pressing into the toe ball mound of this right foot. Take your right hand behind your back. Inhale your left arm up by the ear. So finding the height, the length, then twist to the right. See if you can hook that left elbow with right knee. This right hand behind you acts like a kickstand, looking over that right shoulder, or starting to turn your head to look over that right shoulder. So only go as far as what's comfortable for your neck. Each inhale, feeling the lengthening up of your spine. The exhale, maybe moving into the twist a little deeper. So notice that the twist is coming from the navel up. Try and press into the toe ball mound a little bit more of the right foot, and notice if that helps expand the pelvis a little bit. And then on your next inhale, come through center and do a just gentle counter twist to the left. Come back to center, release that right leg, windshield wiper the feet side to side, shake out the legs a little bit. Sitting up nice and tall again, draw that left knee into your chest. And if you're able to step it over the right, or you can keep it here next to that right leg, but really try and ground down through the toe ball mound of the left foot. Left hand comes behind. Inhale, right arm up by the ear, finding that length, and then twisting to the left. Head turning to start to look over that left shoulder. So feeling rooted on both sits bones. Beautiful, nice, even grounding in your seat. Inhale, feel the spine lengthening up. And the exhale, deepening the twist. Keep that left foot flexed. One more full inhale and exhale. And then coming through center, a counter twist to the right. And release. Shake it out a little bit. And then bring the feet in close. Lift your chest, hands underneath your knees. Find that you're lifting your chest up and then lean back a little bit until you feel the engagement in the belly. So maintain this lengthening of the spine. At any point, if you start to round, then come out of the pose a little bit more. So feet can stay on the mat. We're moving into boat pose, or maybe the feet can pop off the mat a little bit. Maintain the chest lifting up, the spine lengthening. Maybe the arms, the hands released from under the knees. Maybe the legs straighten. Keep lifting the chest up to the ceiling. One more. And then drop the feet down as wide as your mat. Bring your chest through your knees, lengthening up. And then exhale. Now round the spine, rocking back on your sacrum, touching chest. And inhale, lifting up. And exhale, tucking chin to chest, rounding spine. And then find neutral. Cross at your ankles, roll forward to tabletop again. And then drop to forearms. Interlace your fingers. Your elbows are under your shoulders. Step your feet back and lower your hips, finding our forearm plank. Full breath in, full breath out. Full breath in, full breath out. Full breath in, full breath out. Begin dropping the thighs, uncurl the toes, pelvis on the mat, and then bring those forearms in front of you a little bit, finding Sphinx pose. So if your elbows are coming out to the sides, bring them in so they're directly under your shoulders. Wrap your fingers around your elbows to make sure that you have the correct distance. And then bring your forearms back down to the mat, fingers spread. Your gaze is looking kind of to the top of your mat. And then start to lengthen down through the tailbone. So feeling the energy energy move from our toes, up the legs, lengthening the spine, lifting the chest, feeling this back extension. So our back muscles working here. One more full inhale. Exhale, slowly lower, bring your elbows out to the side, stack your hands and rest your forehead on the backs of your hands. Let the low back release. Maybe bend at the knees and slowly windshield wiper them from side to side. And then lower the legs down, slide your hands by your lowest set of ribs and hug the elbows into your side body. On an inhale, begin pressing up and back. And then inhale to tabletop and bring your blocks back under your hands. So getting them ready for low lunge again. Extend your right leg behind. Draw your knee into your chest and step that right foot forward. Tuck the left toes under, lifting up to low lunge. Keep the left hand on your block. Inhale, lifting the right arm straight up. Coming into a twist, a low lunge twist. Full breath in, full breath out. So your palm is facing this emergency exit sign so that it helps your shoulder to open. And then exhale, lower that right hand to the block. Step your right leg back to meet your left for a high plank pose. And exhale, knees down. Extend left leg behind you. Draw that left knee into your chest. Step it forward. Tuck your right toes under, low lunge. Other side. Keep the right hand on your block. Inhale, left arm, float it up. So think about making a straight line from your right hand across your chest through the lifted arm. The twist coming from the navel up so that you're protecting the lumbar spine. So try and keep this left knee in. Yes. So try not to let that left knee bow out to the side, which is going to turn your hips. And then exhale, lower down. Step the leg back, find high plank again. Full breath in. And exhale, let your hips lift you up into downward facing dog with your heels lifted. Hands on blocks, notice how much extension you get in your arms and your spine with the help of the blocks. And then look between the blocks and walk one footprint at a time up to the top of your mat. Inhale, lifting up halfway, finding a flat back. Float your arms out to the sides. Draw the belly in. Feel that engagement. Stay in that T shape and that half lift, and notice the lengthening from your tailbone out through the crown of your head. Notice if you feel any rounding in your spine, and notice how the belly is engaged. Notice which muscles are working in the low belly. One more full breath in and out. squeeze a little bit and lift the upper back to stand, and then straighten the legs. Let the arms float down to Tadasana. Lengthening down through the tailbone, press through all four corners of your feet. Inhale, floating the arms overhead. Exhale, take the arms out wide. Take it slow. Feel your tailbone tilting up so that you feel like you're leading with your heart into this forward fold. Hands come to the blocks, let the head hang. Maybe put a little bend in the knees if your low back is feeling really tight. Shake the head, yes. Shake the head, no. Just a gentle release of the neck. And then put a deeper bend in the knees so your seat is coming towards your heels. Make sure your toes aren't clenching the mat. Inhale, float the arms up by the ears for chair pose. Bring hands to heart center, twist to the right. Maybe the left elbow hooking with the right knee. Make sure you keep your knees in line with each other. Inhale the hands back to heart center, float them up. And exhale into your forward fold. Full breath in, full breath out, and then drop your seat again towards your heels. The weight in your heels. Inhale, arms up by the ears. Hands to heart center, twist to the left. Right elbow maybe hooking with the left knee. If that right knee is moving forward, draw it back so your knees are in line. Inhale, hands to heart center, straighten the legs, bow forward, forward fold. Sweep the arms out wide and overhead on your inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center, Tadasana. Take a moment here, just close your eyes. Feeling your prana. Prana is life force. So the prana moving through the body right now. The energy, the warmth, acknowledging it, feeling gratitude for it. And open the eyes, inhale the arms overhead, interlace the fingers, index fingers pointing straight up. Let's get some length here, lengthen down through your tailbone, and exhale over to the left. So opening and breathing into this right side body, try and keep that right arm by the ear, reaching through the fingertips. Inhale through center, take it over to the right. Drawing that left arm in line with the ear, reaching through index fingers. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale to center, keep the fingers interlaced, bring them behind your head, elbows moving back. Inhale, lift the chest, upper back arch, and then come back to neutral. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, slight mild arching of the upper back, take those elbows back, and then come back to neutral. One more time, inhale, lengthening up, cradling the head as we arch the upper thoracic spine. And then draw the elbows in tight. Your next exhale, drop your chin to your chest. So we're going to lower to our forward fold, but slowly. So hopefully it takes us about 8 breaths to get there. So just a slow rounding of the spine. With each exhale, slowly lowering you down. You can put a bend in your knees. Keep working your way all the way down. Belly coming to rest on top of your thighs, elbows coming by your knees. Bending your knees, and then inhale, take the elbows out wide. Lift the belly off your thighs, modified chair. And then inhale, coming all the way to standing, another slight arch of the upper back. And exhale, Tadasana. So just a beautiful uncoiling of the spine. And then let's find our way down. Any way you want to get down onto your mat or getting onto your back. So lowering all the way down. And when you get there, hug the knees into your chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. And then drop the feet down to the mat. So setting up for rolling bridge here. So we want our knees to be in line with our hips and our feet in line with our knees. And then reach your arms towards your heels. See if you can then walk your feet back so that you graze your heels with your longest finger. Just a grazing, they don't have to fully touch. And then bring the arms away from your body just a little bit. So with this alignment, press into your feet and lift your hips off the mat. So just one bridge without the arms, just to feel that alignment. So feet in line with knees, knees in line with hips, lifting the hips off the mat, feeling a little bit of pressure in the back of the head and the shoulder blades, and then lower back down. So now we'll add the arms. So press into the feet on your inhale, lift your hips off the mat. When you get about an inch or so off the mat, start floating the arms overhead, keeping the palms facing the ceiling. Exhale, lower the arms. When you get about halfway, lower arms and back together. Inhale, begin lifting the hips. When they get about an inch or so off the mat, start floating the arms overhead. On your exhale, begin lowering the arms first. When they get about halfway, lower arms and back together. So at least 4 more times, moving at your own pace, your own rhythm, and matching breath with movement. So maybe feeling like you're massaging out the shoulders a little bit. Feeling that engagement in the thighs, the glutes. Not over efforting anywhere. So if you feel like you're over clenching in the glutes, try and soften. Being your own observer. So notice which muscles are working here. And once you have finished, so if you're done, or if you want to add one, hug the knees into your chest when you're finished. No rush. And once the knees are hugged into your chest, let's move into happy baby. So separate your knees. So keeping them hugged into your chest, just take your knees apart. So you find that your knees are in line with your armpits. And now turn the soles of your feet to face the ceiling. Flex your feet. And I want you to start just by bringing your hands to the inside of your knees and draw your knees down a little bit. So I want you to feel your whole back pressing into the mat here. The low back not rounding up. And now slide your hands to wrap around your calves. The elbows coming to the inside of your knees, maybe, to help encourage the knees to open up, the hips to open up a little wider. Keeping the feet flexed and facing the ceiling. Keeping the whole back in contact with the earth. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side. And then come back to neutral, straighten the right leg. And rebend it. Straighten the left leg. And rebend it. Bring the soles of the feet together. Wrap the fingers maybe around the edges of the feet to draw the heels toward the pubic bone. And then straighten the legs, feet reaching up toward the ceiling. Separate the legs wide. Bring them back together and cross right knee in front of left. And then bend the knees. And drop the knees over to your left. Coming into a spinal twist. Float the arms out to the sides. So the arms extend out from the shoulders, in line with the shoulders, palms face up. So this is doing a twist with eagle legs. And if dropping the knees is a little too intense, then you can just drop that right foot. That left knee bracing against the back of the right foot. So imagine our intestines wringing out similarly to when you wring out a towel, a wet towel. So with each inhale and exhale, imagine wringing out toxins, anything in the body that's not serving you, not serving your higher power, your ability to cleanse and feel your wholeness. Getting rid of those impurities. And then on an inhale, begin rocking, bringing the knees up. So pressing into that left foot to bring the knees back to center. And then release the legs, extend them up to the ceiling again. Take them out wide. And then bring them back together, this time left knee crossing in front of right knee. Bend the knees and then drop the knees down to your right. And again, if dropping the knees down is a little too much, you can drop the left foot to the floor and then let the right knee come behind that left heel. And arms coming straight out from the shoulders. Full breath in. Full breath out. Maybe press into the back of the head a little bit. Glide your shoulder blades under. Another full breath in and out. On your next inhale, lift the knees to center. Extend the legs up to the ceiling. Bring the arms in a little closer to your body and just breathing here. 3 full inhales and exhales with your legs extended up to the ceiling. And then bring your hands behind your knees and begin lower, actually behind your thighs. And then begin to lower the legs down. Keep them straight. And as they begin to press into your hands, see if you can allow the legs to lift you up. So keep lowering the legs, push them into your hands, and then keep holding on to the thighs. Yeah, there you go. It's a nice little way to come up. Grab your blocks. Position one block. It's going to go in between your shoulder blades. We're going to do supported fish pose. The other block I want you to have at the middle height. So this is where we're going. So you'll come back down. The middle block is going to go in between your shoulder blades, and then you'll have to adjust. But in this other block at the middle height is going to support your head. So it's a more supportive fish pose in that your head is higher. There you go. And so you should feel the middle block. The middle block should be in between your shoulder blades. So that middle block is lifting your chest.
We don't know where our shoulder blades are.
Bra line, bra line. Okay.
Right, yeah.
And then arms come out to the sides a little bit, about 20 or 30 degrees. And then turn your palms up. Legs can be extended or knees can be bent. So I'm going to guide you through a little meditation here. So the woman that I learned restorative yoga from, Jillian Pransky. This is called Listening Softly. Imagine you could breathe directly through your heart. Imagine this is where the air flows in and out of you. Let your breath flow freely in and out through your heart. Let your breath soften you, uncovering layers of you, allowing room for you to unfurl all of you. Your breath tenderly receiving everything it comes in contact with. Welcoming your deepest feelings openly, unwaveringly. Welcoming all your feelings, your joys, and your sorrows. Your breath is a gentle, listening space. Your breath listens wholeheartedly to all that it meets. Staying with you no matter what arises. Your breath is always present, always listening. Listen to your infinite breath as it flows in and out of your heart. Your breath will teach you how to listen. Listen softly. Listen to yourself as your breath listens to you. So start making your way out of this pose. Bring your feet to the mat, bending the knees. Slowly rolling off to one side, off of the blocks. Move the blocks out of the way and then return to your back for a couple of breaths, maybe hugging the knees into your chest. Letting the whole back flatten onto the mat again. And then rolling on to one side to make your way up to a seat. And we'll do meditation today in our hero's pose. So coming up on your knees. Use one or two blocks. So it comes in between your heels, the inside of your, sorry, not heels, inside of your ankles. So one or two. And have it be this way so that your whole seat, both sits bones, will rest on the block. So it could look like this, knees coming toward each other, tops of the feet on the mat. Or it might look like this for some with just one block. But drawing the knees toward each other will help with that alignment and the spine being long. And if that is that too much for anyone's knees or tops of the feet for anyone? Because if it is, and you prefer, sitting cross-legged, go ahead and shift to that. So coming into our meditation, soften the eyes, close the eyes. So returning to some of those words from the beginning of practice from Sharon Gannon. Imagining your spine as an antenna. So meditation does take practice. Sitting still takes practice. Tuning into your breath to bring your attention to one focal point. So as we consciously choose our seat, it helps to bring the body into one place, to develop the ability to focus the inner workings of the mind. Rest your hands in such a way either palms up or down. Relax your elbows and shoulders, spine as vertical as possible. Allow the jaw to release, relaxing the whole face. And the chin level with the floor. Be still. Try not to change or doubt your choice of seat for the remainder of the meditation. Keep your seat. Stick with it. By being still, it keeps the mind from being drawn outward. Giving our mind the chance to move on an inward journey toward the source, toward joy, toward bliss. Bringing in the mantra, be still and know that I am. So on the inhale, silently say, be still. Silently on your exhale, I. Or if it's easier to just focus on your breath. Feeling the breath moving in and out involuntarily. Feeling the gentle rise and fall of the abdomen. Just observing and watching and feeling the breath. Witnessing the breath. Bringing your hands to your heart center, soft bow of the head. And just take a moment to acknowledge this process of listening inward. There are steps to teach us how to meditate, but the journey is your own. There is no right or wrong. So just acknowledge how it felt for you. And if there's anything that you heard when you were listening inward. Just thank yourself. Closing the practice with the sound of Om. Take a full inhale and exhale it all the way out. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Thank you all so much. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Yay. Have a beautiful day. Spread that self-love.
Nobody saw this, okay? You know this, right? Never happened.
Never happened.
Thank you. They were earlier.
So is mine. And he actually went for an MRI. And
nothing, you're just trying to
discovered a herniated disc.
Oh,
So he's waiting now to connect with an ortho to figure out the next course of action, probably physio. And actually, I'm gonna see if I can get him into an acupuncturist. There are exercises, yeah. But it does depend on what's going on there because, you know, if it is. Yeah, that's John got a few rounds of those treatments. It's Band-Aid. We did it one day where we put our leg and the cow is that subtle sensory tilting and feeling, and then in that engagement, really it's a tightening of those abdominal muscles that can cause lower back pain. So sitting like this for a minute and doing that. Another good one is getting pillows. And having them be right here, just kind of reclining on, so that you've got that elevation, and then you stretch legs outward and lay on each side for 5 minutes each side. You would be great at that might be a little intense.
It is.
Cross that ear. At that I know.
But I got to say, no, that never came.
Yes, I know. I'll see over, but.
Wonderful.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
she went.
So when you said that, I was like.
Yes, that's so, I'm not, she did the actual yoga training.
Wow. 30 years old.
Yeah.
Always on a really funny, really quick. I can
Yeah. So I took her when she was like in middle school, she looked at me and said, I hate this. Okay, I go, okay.
Yeah.
So here we are. Yoga teacher, live the life. She is a beautiful human being. I love her so much. Struggled, struggled, solved the struggle. Her therapy, her yoga, which changed her life. Didn't leave her husband. Never last year, for 6 weeks,
Yeah.
the dog, the cat.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it. Love to say it was so intense, much more intense. And
It was like I
physical.
would chill.
Oh my, it was so, I saw
I
her
wonder
at
if
the
Sharon
airport.
was there.
I wonder.
I wonder if she, is that, thank you, thank you. I don't know if Sharon was on, or David Light.
Okay.
You know, they're New
Sharon,
Yorkers originally.
Yes,
She was a dancer, he was a musician. I mean, they still are, but they founded Jimmy Yoga in the early 70s in the village.
Yeah, I know, she told
Oh,
me like the whole
yeah.
thing, and just,
Yeah.
you know, so what she experienced, very intense.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
A lot. That I went with all this knowledge, there were people that had none. She said, so it was so hard for them,
Yeah.
she already had it backwards.
Yeah.
So, but
Wow.
I'm telling you,
Well,
life
I
changer.
feel like our teacher training that I went through at Love Yoga, it's changed now because we've had a change in ownership, but unfortunately we kind of lost that Jivamukti lineage
I
now.
see.
The previous owner is now, she went back to Rhinebeck, which, you know, is kind of a Jivamukti satellite
Okay,
location.
yeah,
And Carla also studies Sanskrit, and her Sanskrit teacher's in Rhinebeck, but she's now founded Rhinebeck Yoga.
okay.
And you know where Rhinebeck is,
I
right?
don't.
Oh, no?
I'm really new to
But no, it's New York. It's New York.
Boston. Yeah.
So you know Kripalu.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So Rhinebeck is where Omega is.
Okay.
Which is like a Kripalu, but
Okay.
just a little different. And
I tried to go like 3 times, and every time when like something came up that, you know,
Yeah.
wouldn't get me there.
Yeah.
But I was so happy that she did what
That's
she did.
amazing.
Yeah.
So now, she's a Jivamukti. Well, if she ever wants to come down, I would love to talk to her ahead of time and see if she wants to maybe lead a workshop at Love
Yeah.
Yoga.
Oh, yeah.
That would be.
So she works at Laughing River in Burlington, Vermont.
Okay.
And she kind of goes from there, she does her teacher trainings. I knew she was gonna come home and get thrown into like a 6-week. She's cuckoo, she's young and cuckoo, but she can be, you know
So
what I
she's
mean?
30?
She's 30.
So no
yeah.
kids yet?
No kids
Okay.
yet.
I had kids later. I was 39
Okay.
when I had Julia, and then 44
Oh,
when I had
okay.
Aiden.
Oh,
So yeah. And then I did my teacher training for my 50.
imagine that. I became an esthetician when I was 52. And I was in school with like 20-year-olds.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's what we do when we can do it,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
children are 11
There's
years apart.
no boundaries
There are
to
no
our journey.
boundaries. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and even
wanted
when
to
I
be on
went,
this journey
even
my
when
whole
I
life.
went through teacher training, I didn't go into it with the intent to teach.
You went for your love of yoga, which I like the manager for 32 years. And I think I could only do it because she said, you come on yoga, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And my yoga mentor would look at me, right? She knew I was going through a hard time. She'd say, yeah, you have everything you need right here. So
Yeah.
going through, I would just say, I got it, I got this, I can do
Yeah.
this. So it's just been,
You should take a picture of this book.
Okay.
Dawn's book.
okay,
So she has really become an authority for restorative yoga. Here's her, quick bio. She's a certified yoga therapist, and she's been doing it. It was interesting. So she was in college, and it was a little starting for college, both living in Hoboken. I was working in Midtown. She was working Lower Manhattan. She was in publishing. I was in PR. So I'm similar, but early 90s. So when I was in New York, I grew up
Sure.
On this journey, she was also teaching hardcore, like,
Power yoga.
not yoga yet, like she was doing aerobics.
Okay, because
And
that's what we did.
yeah, and I
Zumba.
want to say like 93 or 94, she was walking by a studio in New York and saw yoga and it brought her in, and that started her journey. 94, I named myself to St. Thomas.
Gotta go.
Rat race.
Yep.
And here we are now, 20 plus years later.
Mind blowing.
And this is right up the street from restorative yoga, and I went to her workshop at Omega, and like we totally reconnected. And we've always felt like this. Bye. Sorry, we're chatting away. But I like the pride, like I'm so proud
Of her.
Yeah, like
And
we
your journey
Yes, and I
together.
can't recommend this.
Okay, I'm gonna take a picture and send
Yeah.
it to Christina.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And